Obsessors, Oppressors, and Possessors. Do you see? You see? The first take I said, ladies and gentlemen. That's not how you do this. That's wrong. Welcome to Ghosted in West Virginia. I am your humble and handsome host, Alec McCann. And with me, as always,
Julia.
And she has written the stories for us this evening. Now, we went through this and we actually discovered that we have told 2 of the stories that she had written down. So this will either be an extremely short episode or it'll be an extremely short episode. Could be a Patreon episode, like a little, hey, here we go. But either way, we will figure it out.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. We could actually retell those stories. I mean, it's no problem.
Oh, you were planning to just skip over them?
Yes. Did you not? Okay. No, okay. So we clearly had a miscommunication there. We are going to retell these stories, so it won't be a shorter episode. All right. So, what have you done?
What do you mean?
What's the intro?
Oh.
Tell us,
Possessions.
Where'd you find them? And
Paranormal case files.
oh, okay. That we use that a lot.
And I don't remember telling this first one. I remember watching it on TV.
We told this first
but I don't
one.
remember telling it.
Well, we had an episode that was full of possessions. Either shortly before our devil episode or shortly after our devil episode. But I got the episode from, we have it. It's called Ghost Stories. I don't know who it's written by, but but I told it. So it's early in our podcast. So, people that don't want to go back and listen to episode 1, which is fair because we've gotten much better in our audio quality and scheduling. We're doing great. We haven't missed a week in a good bit. We were about to this week, but here we are, healthy. I was deathly ill yesterday. And so was Ryan. And the day before it was Oliver. And the day before that it was Jacob. And now we're just waiting on Julia.
Nope.
She refuses.
I rebuke it.
So, we are doing cases of possession.
Yes.
This first one did come from a previous story. She found it on Paranormal Case Files. I have a book that's called Ghost Stories, and it's got a section of possessions. So the first story is the possession of Clara Germana Selly, I guess is how you say that. I don't know. There was no pronunciation. But then the second one is the possession of Julia. Not this one.
Not me.
But it is one that we have talked about. If you look at the episode that we did about Richard Gallagher, who was a psychologist, who what's he do? He assists, I guess. I get a guest,
like possessions.
Yeah, like
type of thing.
The Catholic Church needs someone to be psychoanalyzed. He's there. He witnessed a few possessions.
Yeah.
So we did an episode on him. I even think I still have the book. I don't think I did all of those stories. Might be fun to revisit him. But we have a story from him, and then we have 2 that I don't know anything about, so I'm quite excited for that. So, without further ado, you want to read the first one?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of words I don't know, and I like watching you try to pronounce strange words.
I got you. All right, so we're going to make this bigger, and then I'm going to go right into it. In 1906, a 16-year-old girl named Clara from the Natal province of South Africa became the center of a notorious and extremely terrifying case of possession. Demonic. Dun, 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 dun. Now, she was a student at a convent school and was known for her devotion and faith. However, one day her behavior dramatically changed. And what began as a series of strange and violent outbursts eventually escalated into what people say is a full-fledged gone jam.
Mind your business.
Okay. Full-fledged possession. Now, according to witnesses, Clara began to exhibit unusual strength, complete change in personality, and a sudden ability to speak languages she had never learned. Now, of all the ones, the strength, honestly, you could probably push that to mental illness too. It
I
seems
was
that
gonna say, and that's about the right age.
yeah. So I could see that being the change. However, the languages thing
Yeah.
is what always gets me. Is that's. And what's interesting is if you take it to that kind of thing where you see it as it's a mockery of the gifts that
Yeah.
God gave the apostles and first century Christians. Not the Pentecostal
Yeah.
uh, language.
But again, if you look at schizophrenia closely enough,
I don't
some of
think
what.
schizophrenia is suddenly going to teach you Sumerian.
Well, no, but how do they know it was a legit language? Did they know the languages?
I'm imagining that they probably had a good recollect, like recorded it and said, "Hey, does anybody know?" You know, those things are
Or
typically
was it someone that
known.
just said, "Oh, that sounds like Latin"?
Latin's very
I'm
distinct.
I'm not meaning
No,
in
okay, so if
particular.
they have to record evidence before they
Right.
can do any kind of possessions, right? So they have to record the sounds, the conversations, and language has a very unique pattern, but it always follows a pattern. There's pauses, there's grammatical changeraboos, like someone speaking Spanish to you, right? The way they write things is backwards, but you can tell it's a language versus someone that's going
But that could be a language.
that is 100% not a language. That's what they do at the Pentecostal church. Anytime, the reason I'm saying that it does that is it's not going to just make up. The reason they know it's a language is because most languages are known. Now I'll give you, if it starts
In
speaking,
1906, they were.
yes, most of the world was developed. Yes. You have German, you have English, you have French, you have Spanish. People knew what Latin was. They knew how to read it. They'd been speaking it in the Catholic Church for a very long time. People knew Greek because people were speaking Greek. What? I love you. Yeah, they knew what languages were in 1906. It was like only 100 years ago.
Okay.
I'm so very confused by that question. All right. That threw me off a little bit. Okay. Um yeah, so that was always one of the things that yeah, you threw me so hard with that.
That's what I do.
I don't even understand where that question came from. Out of left field. Gone jam. Gone jam. That's okay. Oh, oh, doctors, we need medicine over here for both of us.
You have medicine. I no longer do.
So, according to witnesses, Clara began to exhibit unusual strength, languages, all the telltale signs of some sort of event, spiritual event happening. And then several signs, physical marks on her body, strange sounds emanating from her, violent reactions to religious objects. It led the nuns at the convent and the local clergy to believe that she might be possessed. Now, they responded with a series of exorcisms led by priests who had experience with similar cases. This particular possession became widely known and garnered significant attention at the time and was documented by clergy that were involved in her case. Now, I would like to state in 1906, there was not a huge belief in exorcism in modern, like over here
Right.
and in like Britain, you're not going to see very many exorcists in 1906. South Africa, however, would be very different. Just a different part of the world, different culture. Things like that are more readily accepted,
Right.
I would say. So, Clara's story became a chilling tale that echoes... Hey. Well, don't get out of the screen, doofus.
I
Come
need a
on.
mask.
You don't... I'm not sick.
I wish it was COVID time still and we had to wear masks to protect us.
You liberal.
I can't with it. I love this time of year, but I can't with all you sick people.
Jules, I'm over my sickness. I was looking to prove it to you tonight. How you doing? How you doing?
Not being sick.
Give me a kiss.
No.
Come on. Just one. Oh, come on now. You can't turn your back to the camera. That's podcasting 101. That's just camera work.
They're probably
101.
sick too.
They're not. You can't insult our people.
If any of them know me, they know I am a germaphobe. And they'll understand.
Sad. Anyway.
Sad.
Clara's story is a chilling tale that echoes the darkest corners of the supernatural. It all started on an ordinary day when Clara began to show signs of agitation. She started to grow restless during prayers, which she had previously loved, as most people do. One evening, as Clara sat in her dormitory, something broke inside of her. With no clear trigger, her behavior became violent and erratic. Yeah. She started shouting unintelligible languages. See, that would be the thing there. Her voice deepening to an unnerving guttural tone. Her eyes, once kind and gentle, seemed to burn with an unnatural fire. The nuns, alarmed, attempted to calm her, but Clara's strength was overpowering.
She said, not today, sisters.
In a fit of rage, she threw one of the larger nuns across the room, a feat that no one could believe possible from this slender? She's a slitter! I don't even know what that is, but it sounds gross. Sounds gross. And fragile girl. I don't know where slitter came from.
Who knows?
So the next day, Clara was found locked in her room. The walls and furniture were smashed and overturned as though a violent storm had passed through. But it wasn't just the room that caused terror, it was her appearance. Clara's face was twisted in an unnatural grimace. Her eyes, once vibrant and full of life, were now dull and clouded, as if something had taken control of her soul. That seems like a little weird to be able to see that in someone's eyes.
You can. I mean, not that you could see, not that I've seen that, but I can tell a lot from somebody's eyes.
You remember when you told me they were full of sadness? My eyes were full of sadness.
Yeah, they were.
I
always know when the children are getting sick.
That's true, you do. Except Brian's hit us all by surprise.
It did.
And then mine did. This was a sneaky virus. Sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
So, the nuns called the priests at the local church, who arrived to investigate the behavior. And when they encountered, what they encountered was far more than what they bargained for. She spoke to them in multiple voices at once. No. I don't know what it is. Children are inherently creepy to me anyway. I like, they're terrifying. I can't. I want to say it was Amityville, but I can't remember if it was Amityville. But it was the theme song where la 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 la. That might be Poltergeist, but I think it's Amityville. But either way, that is the creepiest, and it's beautiful. The music's beautiful. Like think about Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
How creepy the intro is. That's a child singing it.
I do enjoy that intro though.
Like, it's children are creepy.
Yes.
16-year-old children talking to you in multiple voices with multiple languages. I know it didn't do that there, But
Still creepy.
like it'd be like, well, you getting greased. No, I'll tell you where I'm going. America, where they don't have this problem.
I'm going home, sir.
Oh man. So, yeah. So she spoke to them in multiple voices, and these voices came from around her, not just from her mouth. So she opens her mouth, and all of a sudden, it's like a cape or wings of voices. That's. But it wasn't just. Where am I, woman?
Are you having a stroke?
I don't know where I went. Oh, here we go. When she looked at the priests, it wasn't Clara's sweet little face that they saw. What appeared in her eyes was something dark and twisted. At times, she would speak in languages that no one else knew, languages she had never heard. So when it says no one else knew the languages, that they still recorded it. Someone eventually was able to say, oh, this is German. I know,
Right.
because it's a network of priests, so I'm sure they could send it out and be like, hey, does anyone know this language? Oh, yeah, she's saying some really uncool things about him. Right there.
Oh my gosh, excuse me. What is wrong with me?
I don't know. Are you okay? It's a soda. So as the days passed, Clara's condition worsened. The priests began the process of preparing for an execution,
They took that escalated.
Listen, we cannot allow this person to live.
Right.
It's a terrible demon.
I said, no, thank you, sir.
All of a sudden in 1906, they got Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's just like, I'm not interested in exercising. I exercised the day I executed. So
Max came to help me.
they're preparing for an exorcism.
Hi, baby.
But the force...
This was strong.
I was about to be like, the force? But the force they were about to contend with was unlike anything that they had ever encountered before. I also wonder how many possessions that they have encountered. I know they said they had done one.
True.
But, like, this is making it sound like they're going against the final boss for them. Like, this is their journey in this.
Right.
Every prayer, every attempt to calm Clara with holy water was met with a violent resistance. You think this person, there's no way to calm her with holy water? Like, they think this thing's possessed. One of the markers is that they burn with holy water.
Right.
Or it hurts them somehow. Because all of a sudden you can holorize. I'm gonna holorize a sock and just start hitting people with it, and whoever burns.
Clearly you need help.
Mm-hmm. Really what it is boric acid I'm just slapping everybody with.
That's terrible, because I was going to say that secretly, like, put acid or something
Right.
in it. And be like,
Oh, you're possessed.
it's just holy water as they're burning with every splash.
Oh, we need to get you to a priest.
You need a psych facility, probably.
So at one point, the demon inside Clara manifested so violently that her body levitated above the floor, contorting in ways that no human should ever be able to. She also displayed supernatural strength, which we've said 500 times. On several occasions...
Make sure you really know.
Right. On several occasions, it took multiple grown men to restrain her, but she would effortlessly overpower them, her hands locked around their throats with unnatural strength. Does she have unnatural strength?
Yes.
Man. She would laugh maniacally while spitting curses and blasphemies. Things escalated further. Now, this is a question. If they spit blasphemies, like they blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, that's the one unforgivable sin.
But it's not them.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Is that, that's, how does that get dealt with?
I mean, I would hope that God would know that
that's
them and it would be okay.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever do that,
Because
but that's just an interesting thing. Like, how does God deal with
most people who do
that
get possessed are very religious people.
Well, I meant in terms of how does he deal with not the person, but the entity itself. Like, do they get dealt with immediately, or are they just waiting? It's weird. So anyway, things escalated further, if you can believe it, when the nuns and priests noticed strange marks appearing on her body, deep scratches, welts, burns, none of which could be explained. Not anything. It's weird.
Not today.
So, they would appear right after one of her outbursts and appeared closely. Or when appeared closely. When appeared? What? When appeared closely, they appeared. What?
I don't know. I haven't had my medicine.
I'm going to say when they were inspected closely,
That's probably what it's supposed to be.
they appeared to form symbols. Ancient, unholy symbols that were foreign to any clergy that was present. To make matters worse, the air around Clara grew cold and the stench of sulfur filled the room. Classic signs of demonic influence. I would like to see pictures of that. See what exactly the markings were.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Or sketch it out. I mean, it's 1906. I know they got cameras and all that, but not great cameras.
Yeah.
So, who knows? The most horrifying aspect of possession was Clara's reaction to the religious artifacts. Holy water, crucifix, rosaries, objects that she once cherished were now causing her immense pain. At one point, when the priest placed a crucifix near her face, she screamed in agony, her skin blistering when it came into contact with the crucifix. The very presence of the cross caused her to recoil, writhing away in discomfort. Now, the priests understood that they weren't dealing with a mere spiritual disturbance, but a demonic power of unimaginable scale. For weeks, the priests were... hold on. Max.
He's a distraction.
For weeks, the priests attempted various rituals, but none seemed to work. Clara's body would go limp, her eyes would clear for a brief moment, and then an instant, as though the demon had been driven out, but within hours the possession would return with greater intensity. The demon would taunt the priests, revealing secrets about their lives, mocking their attempts at salvation, and even threatening the lives of anyone who dared to intervene. One priest, after performing a particularly aggressive ritual, was reported to have been thrown against a wall by an invisible force, leaving him unconscious for hours. Now, they say...
And that would be the end of it for me. I'd be like, I gotta go.
They say it was particularly aggressive. There's this... I don't know... it said it was based on a true story, but I don't know if it is... I think it was called, the movie itself, I think, was called The Crucifixion. Mm-hmm. And it was about, this priest had tried to perform an exorcism by actually crucifying the person to a cross and performing it.
That doesn't seem okay.
It does not, but that would be a particularly aggressive, to me, ritual. I don't know what this man did, whether it was like, I'm going to slap you in the face 500 times and you're going to feel it, demon. You're going to feel it. But
you'll feel one of these slaps.
After reading, or after watching that movie, and I'm pretty sure that part of the movie was what it was based on, not the actual story that followed, but that particular part about the dude crucifying. After that being a thing, I'd be looking over at this particular and be like, is it though? Is it aggressive? He's not nailing her to a cross, right? He's just slapping her a little bit. And really, it's not her he's slapping. It's the demon. So, I mean, homeboy's gotta slap. Homeboy gotta slap.
Sometimes.
So, it's like Wayne Brady. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to slap him?
I think it went out.
What, the fire?
Yeah.
I'll put it back on. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt. BRB. All right, we're back. I don't even know if you could tell we were gone because I just paused the recording. Couldn't wait. So, it wasn't until the final exorcism, held at the dead of the night, or at the dead of the. What time are we going? At the dead of the night. In the dead of the night, that the demon finally appeared to be driven out. As the priest chanted louder, Clara's body began to convulse violently. Her voice became a cacophony of screams and curses, and it seemed as though the very foundation of the convent was shaking from the sound. The priests, desperate and exhausted, pushed through the chants. One final desperate act. Clara's body fell back to the ground. Silence came over the room, and for the first time in weeks, Clara's body remained. What was that?
It's like Oliver today outside. He was talking about the snow, and he kept calling it the snow. Snow.
So her body remained still. Her breathing calm, her eyes clear. The demon had been expelled. She awoke. Hi, Ryan.
I'm gonna go shower.
Okay.
You're gonna go what?
Shower.
Oh, okay. You're not gonna go warmer than that? Okay.
I think that's how he went last time.
No, it's not gonna walk far.
That's true. It's not like you walk far.
He wore Oliver's little Mario croc last time because he couldn't find his shoe. He said only 3 of his toes fit in it.
Oh my goodness.
And then one of his Crocs.
What is the point in wearing a croc then?
I don't understand why we don't just look for our shoes and why we wear one shoe and then another shoe of another pair.
I only did that because of the Christmas parade. The
Do
Thanksgiving parade. I only did it because of the Thanksgiving parade. And I couldn't find my red shoe.
Oh, do you know you have shoes in the Explorer?
Yeah, I know. That's all. So, anyway, the demon had been expelled. She awoke, disoriented, but free of the malevolent presence that had held her captive. The marks on her body actually disappeared completely, and the unnatural cold lifted from the room. But Clara had changed. She'd been restored physically, but the experience left a profound mark on her mentally. She would never speak of the horrors she had endured, but the trauma lingered. Now, that's the end of that story. We're going to go into this next one, which is a bit cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Also, I would like to say, I hope, and I don't mean this in a gross way, but I really hope that this Julia is attractive. Because otherwise, this story... See, with the attractive one, you've got like the Morticia type view of her, right? Like this dark princess type person.
Okay.
But with the unattractive view, I'm picturing some sort of biker gang. And she's toothless.
Why are you even picturing them anyway like that? Like...
Because when you read a story, you get a visualization
like,
of a person.
I always just picture their clothes, like what they're wearing, but they don't really have any features.
Well, that's why I said, like, Morticia. If she's attractive, I don't know that she's attractive. I'm saying it goes one of two ways. Either she's attractive, and this is like a eyes wide open shut kind of thing. You know, that movie with Tom Cruise.
I never watched it.
Okay. Or this is a biker gang, it's Sons of Anarchy, but with really deteriorating people. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So either this is like, you sort of get it, or what? And that's fun for me, because as we go, just picture
You
that.
like the creepy, ugly ones?
I think the biker gang is hilarious. Every
like
time.
zombies.
No, they're not zombies. They're just...
How beautiful.
Oh yeah, nice.
Let's show them. Beautiful.
No, they're not zombies. They're meth heads.
Ah.
So, like, everything that goes on in this story that she talks about...
Except they're in church.
They're not in church.
And
this is...
what I wrote, they are.
Oh, this isn't, Wait, this isn't the demon priestess?
Yeah, but this is just of her in a church thing. It's different than what you had written about. You obviously had a lot more detail. Because
This isn't the satanic priestess.
Yes.
They didn't have any what? If this is satanic priestess, what's this got to do with church? I know
because she goes to them.
Yeah, but
in
she's
church.
not. But she's not a member, and
no, but the other people in the church are.
No, I understand. Okay. So, this is the possession of Julia.
Not me.
Maybe. She arrived not as a frightened victim, but as someone entirely self-assured, poised and even regal. Dressed in a long black coat that brushed the floor behind her, Julia entered the church's psychiatric evaluation room with the kind of presence that turned heads before she spoke. Okay, so she's the attractive one.
Yeah.
Okay. Her voice was even, articulate, and unshaken. She explained that she had not come to plead, but to test. She wanted to see if the church could prove it had the power greater than what she served, and she would listen. Until then, she would remain unconvinced, not of the spiritual realm, but of their ability to confront it. Which I sort of get that idea. I get that idea.
It's hard for me to imagine a church, like, wasting their time with something like that. Because they have to have all this permission and stuff to do exorcisms. So I can see them with someone like this coming in being like, we don't have time for this. We believe.
Well, I think
we'll pray for you, but please leave.
Well, I don't know. You're right. It seems kind of weird. But this is also Dr. Richard Gallagher we're talking about here. Someone that's been published in medical articles and psychiatric magazines and things.
So maybe it was something like a study.
Maybe. Or maybe she just came in with this fantastical story.
Look
this
at
the one
little
with the cats,
Franklin
right?
watching his puppy videos. But you don't have to watch puppy videos. You can watch Ghosted in West Virginia and join our channel. And if you think about it, you could also go over to Ghosted in West Virginia Facebook page and share and subscribe there as well. Of course, if you don't, you're a loser.
Julia's life was steeped in the occult. She claimed to be a high-ranking priestess in a satanic sect, and her confidence was unwavering. She admitted to invoking spirits, performing rituals, and participating in ceremonies meant to summon forces most people would spend their lives trying to avoid. But something had shifted. The forces she once called on at will had grown bolder and more independent. She no longer had control over them, they were controlling her. A psychiatrist known for his clinical detachment was skeptical. He heard similar stories from disturbing individuals, most of whom had a complex trauma history or untreated psychological conditions. But Julia was different. She was lucid, grounded, insightful. She expressed no remorse, no confusion, only dread. Have to go down. Over here.
Maybe.
In her first interview, she abruptly stopped speaking mid-sentence. Her eyes fluttered, her posture stiffened. What followed was not a seizure or a panic attack. Her facial features contorted, and a second voice emerged from her, male, guttural, venomous. It sneered at the clergy in the room, calling them out by name, including names they had not given. It recited details about their lives, sins they had confessed in private. One priest collapsed into a chair, pale and trembling. Oh, he caught the vapors. The sessions continued for weeks. Julia would be herself one moment and then violently overtaken the next. During one episode, she turned to a nun assisting in the observation and began describing in illicit detail a long-buried trauma from the woman's childhood, an event that even the nun's own family did not know. The nun broke down weeping, later confirming that every detail was true. I imagine that was some essay happening there. There were physical phenomena, too. Objects in the room, like prayer books, pens, holy medals, would slide from tables as if pushed by invisible hands. Lights flickered, shadows formed where there were no people to cast them. On one occasion, the psychiatrist entered the room to find Julia levitating several inches off the bed. Her arms were at her sides, stiff and unnatural. Her body...
I would not like that if I saw it or was doing it.
You remember that one episode I just said that one girl saw her sister levitating 3 feet off the bed and she just started pouring gas all over the room.
Right.
So, well, it was a good time. See you.
Later.
As people say, pull out the torches for a spider. Levitating. That's when you pull out the torches. That's when you're like, I'm so sorry the devil got you.
Right.
He ain't gonna get me. Her body did not tremble, nor did it sway. Her arms, it hovered perfectly horizontally, still as if suspended by something now of this world. Not of this world. Now, multiple witnesses were present. No one spoke a word. When she slowly descended, she opened her eyes and smiled and said, "That was just a taste."
A taste I don't want.
Right? She displayed an immediate visceral reaction to sacred objects. Even when they were hidden, concealed beneath clothing, or out of sight, she would recoil or growl in their presence. She spat across the room and screamed, "Remove it," only for the priest to realize he had accidentally left a relic of Saint Benedict in his pocket. When holy water was brought near her, she started to have convulsions. Her skin was pale. Her breathing grew labored. It was the knowing that disturbed the psychiatrist the most. She told him things about his mother's final days, things she had said on her deathbed, private words that had never been shared with her. She described the room his mother had died in, the way the light filtered through the curtains. She even quoted a Latin prayer whispered in those final hours. There was just no rational explanation. Also, you didn't throw this in there, but in the episode that we did on this, there was a moment where he had 2 cats, and they started just violently fighting with each other. Ooh. And then the next day, she asked him about how his cats were.
I do remember that now.
So, Julia sometimes spoke in Latin, Greek, Aramaic. Not isolated words, but full, fluent sentences. The psychiatrist checked her educational background. She had never studied any of these languages or had any kind of religious schooling whatsoever. She would teach tongues. She would teach tongues in mid-sentence. She would speak in tongues.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
She would speak in tongues in mid-sentence, growling blasphemies and laughing cruelly as priests tried to pray over her. Her laughter would grow until it became almost inhuman, vibrating with distortion that made the walls shake. So there we go with walls again. The exorcisms began shortly after the church declared her case legit. During these rites, her body would thrash around violently, restrained by 4 or more individuals at a time. Her voice changed and became layered, sometimes 2 or more voices at a time, overlapping in contradictions. I'm not 100% sure.
I always am reminded of that book When Rabbit Howls, when all of her personalities start bickering.
I don't know that I could. That's scary.
Yeah. That book was scary. The fact that it was true and knowing that someone can have the mental disorder that bad.
Yeah. Now,
anywho.
She cursed at the clergy, insulted the sacred, and offered prediction. Insulted the sacred and offered predictions that often came true. The possession never ended. Julia stopped the process herself. One day, she just simply stopped coming. She had tasted the strength of both sides, and she told me.
Is that the end?
She had tasted the strength of both sides, she told me, and decided she preferred the one that offered her power.
I think it was supposed to be like a...
She told me. Who is the me?
Me. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I guess the psychiatrist.
Okay. God requires surrender, but they reward loyalty, she told her psychiatrist. There it is. She vanished after that. Her whereabouts still remain unknown. The doctor said on record and in writing that her possession was the most chilling, most convincing, and most inexplicable case of true evil he has ever seen. He no longer questions whether demons exist. He just wonders how many are walking among us unnoticed, wearing the skin of the sane.
Creepy. And I often wonder that sometimes.
Ooh, this looks creepy. Mm-hmm. The demon that followed Mary home. Okay. In October of 2006, Mary visited a remote barn in Indiana following reports of strange phenomena and a reputation for occult activity. The structure of the barn was in very poor condition, sagging at the edges of the long-forgotten property. Oh, man. Locals often spoke of ritual marking, disembodied lights, and a sense of dread that seemed to hang over the land. Mary, a seasoned investigator, entered with caution, but with very little concern. Inside the barn, the air felt heavy and oppressive. On the floor, she discovered a scorched pentagram surrounded by crude sigils. Though she noticed no audible activity at the time, she was recording with a handheld device. A sudden, inexplicable pain struck her abdomen, sharp and searing, and was followed by an overwhelming urge to leave, so she did. Later that night, she was reviewing the recordings, and she heard something during the investigation that she didn't register. A deep, guttural voice close to the microphone. It said, "Your God can't save you now." And for 6 months, nothing happened. The silence that followed Mary gave her the impression that the threat had been idle, which, fair enough. 6 months is a long time to wait, man.
Right?
That's a long time to wait. Could you wait 6 months before something attacked you? Like if you knew something was supposed to happen?
I'd probably still think about it every day. And then even years down the road, I'd probably be like, oh, I remember this one time. Something said it was coming for me.
At what point do you let it go?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Never.
Never? You're still constantly waiting for the
Yes.
attack? All right,
That's
well,
what happens when you have anxiety.
the silence that followed Mary gave her the impression that the threat had been idle, but it wasn't until her mother nearly died from a surgical complication. She had a lot of surgeries mixed up in
Right.
this video. It nearly killed her.
That's how it happens.
But how funny would that be? It's a compilation video of her surgeries, and like she slipped on them or something. Like, no, it was a surgical complication that
compilation.
that the silence broke. In the days following, Mary felt herself emotionally drained and spiritually exposed. That's when the disturbances started. Unexplained noises manifested in her home, knocks, dragging sounds, sharp bangs. She often felt like she was being watched, especially at night. Now, one night she was jolted awake by the sounds of pigs grunting and squealing in her room, and a man kind of going, "Reggie don't like that noise." Reggie don't like it. Oh, Reggie Jackson. Oh, Reggie. As soon as the pigs happened, I knew he had to be in there, because that he lives in the barns. You know that?
I'm asleep.
Reggie Jackson. Hey, at least Reggie Jackson ain't loud.
That's true.
Reggie Jackson just don't play.
I'm not in the mood for loud today. My shoulder hurts.
Reggie don't play. That's all it is. Reggie don't play.
I'm not going to wash my hair.
Sounds like an invitation to me. All right. Oh. Just so you know, when I'm in there, I'll be speaking English to you. We after when we went on break, we actually talked about that moment, and what she thought was that because it was in South Africa, they were less knowledgeable. She didn't know that South Africa is kind of different than the rest of Africa in that way. I don't even know how to say that without sounding racist.
I don't know.
They have South Africa had more modern advances. That's how you say it.
True.
That's not being racist. That's just developmental. Okay, it's just developmental. But either way, that's why she just didn't think they had the schooling, that's different.
Because everywhere shows you the third world country parts of Africa.
Right.
Never the nice ones.
I don't think South Africa counts as third world.
I don't think so either. But
I don't know that they're first world though. I think they might be second world.
I'm pretty sure they also offered to take refugees from America this last presidential term.
Which is hilarious to me. They have historically, it wasn't until Nelson Mandela, that dude Trevor Noah, the dude that took over the Daily Show after Jon Stewart, that South African dude.
Yeah.
He's young. He's older than us, but he's young. And apartheid hadn't even ended. Do you know what apartheid was?
Like a separation?
Yeah, black people on one side of the street, white people, and the two. He had to leave his mother so that they wouldn't.
Because he was mixed, right?
Right, so that they wouldn't get arrested.
I do remember that. Ow.
So, historically, they've not been that, but I wonder how many people went there. How fun would it be if it was just a melting pot went in there,
right.
after they had all these racist rules, and then you see some Mexicans go over there, some obviously some black people go over there, but then you also got Middle Easterns throwing their hat in, and Asians over there. It's going to be the most multicultural part of Africa.
The new America.
It'll be the new America. Oh man. So anyway, oh man, because shortly after the Civil War, we started bringing in different people.
Yeah.
Immigration laws became a thing pretty quick. Man. And they just got rid of their racism.
Yeah.
They're going to be the new America. We got our old racism back, and they were
This country, man. I'm going to tell you.
So, within days. Oh, wait, am I right? Am I right? Or am I right here? In the days following, Mary felt herself emotionally drained. Because her mother broke the silence. In the days following, Mary felt herself emotionally drained and spiritually exposed. That's when the disturbances started. I had already read that. Unexplained noises manifested in her home, knocks and dragging sounds with sharp bangs. She often felt like she was being watched. Oh, dang it, I already did this because the pigs show up in Reggie. I already read this part. Reggie.
Oh, that's right.
Reggie.
Where were we?
We went on a whole path to South Africa. We took a whole journey.
And now we're back.
I was like, where are we? And we're here in America, wherever this house is. Now, within days, she began to experience waking visions, disturbing scenes of blood, suffering, and acts of violence in which she herself played a part in. These visions blurred the lines of reality and fiction. Mary began isolating herself, convinced that her family wouldn't understand. She said she was spiritually contaminated and mentally frayed. I would probably think you were a nutcase if you told me that too. So, fair enough.
If someone told me they were spiritually contaminated, I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
CDC!
You are
CDC!
what? Let me get you a mask.
SDC, please. Spiritually disease control. Can you come help me? She says she's got the Ebola of the spirit. She's been contaminated. Eventually, she confided in her sister, who was also a psychiatrist. Her sister found no indication of mental illness, but noted clear signs of psychological distress. So she told her to have the house blessed. Can't hurt. The local priest performed the blessing with Mary, her mother, and her sister present. The home grew quiet, but within days, Mary was violently attacked, pinned down in her bed by an unforeseen force. The blessing, she believed, had provoked a retaliation. So, the entity's influence... Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. Sorry. She began to accept whatever had been in the barn had followed her home and was now attached to her. So she tried to fight it. She wore a cross, read scripture aloud, but found that the necklace was physically burning her skin. The Bible verses left her nauseous, and holy objects became intolerable. Her faith, once strong, began to erode. The entity's influence spread. Her young son started to report disturbing instances. It was supposed to be started reporting disturbances, but whatever. I didn't read it right. You wrote it fine. I didn't read it right. One night, she heard him growling from his bedroom, and when she entered, the sound had stopped, but he was on the floor sobbing. He later said it sounded like wolves. He prayed for years, but when asked to, he started refusing.
Like, I guess when asked to, after
Oh,
that
when asked to start praying. Okay.
Yeah.
When asked to pray.
He never said how old he was.
True. He had prayed for years, asking God to protect Mary and make her stop investigating demonic cases, but nothing changed. Mary also found herself unable to pray. She would open up her mouth, and the words would just go away.
Well, I feel like that happens to everybody. At some point.
Well, probably.
Not all the time, obviously, but...
But I think the idea here is that it's just a little, like, what?
Coincidental.
Yeah. She tried to carry on a normal life, but she just couldn't. One day, while driving her son, she entered like a dissociative state. And according to him, she turned to face him while she was driving. Her eyes never left his, while her foot pushed the accelerator to the floor, weaving between vehicles at high speed. She drove the entire route without once looking at the road,
No, ma'am.
coming to a sudden halt in her mother's driveway. And she had no memory of the entire drive. I'd be impressed at first, and then I'd be like, ho, hey, whoa, hey!
There have been times I've been driving and I'd be like, how did I get this far already?
Oh, man. Are we in the car when you do that?
That hasn't been recent. It was way back when I worked still, and I would come from like Winchester, Stephen City, all the way up here after working all day. I was like, you just get in the car and you already know where you're going, so you zone away and the car just takes you.
Fair enough. It's what they call road hypnotism, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But now I can't see well enough at night to drive, so I can't zone out and forget where I'm going because we'll die.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mary was having just a real hard time. You know, just crazy things were happening to her. Inside, she attempted to drink holy water, but couldn't swallow it. She turned to her sister, and in a voice that wasn't her own, she said, "We don't need any help." And a low growl followed. Now, someone named John, who was not mentioned in the story until this point.
And that's what I told you about when I was telling you that I was working on a story, and then out of nowhere, someone was just there.
Yeah.
And then they were in the rest of the story.
So John shows up, and
Whoever he is.
he began organizing an intervention. Now, Mary was reluctant until her son became directly involved, when her actions began to frighten him. and it was then that she agreed. She and her sister drove 8 hours to Stratford, Connecticut, where John met them at a local church. The moment he saw her, he understood how far things had progressed. Her expression, once familiar and sweet, was filled with hate.
So he obviously
He knows her. Yeah, I was just about to say. So where was John?
Yeah, but we don't know you, sir.
Yeah. Her sister and John... Once in the priest's office, they strapped her to a chair for safety. Her sister and John remained close. The priest began to recite the rites, and Mary's behavior changed rapidly. Writhing, spitting, hissing. Her strength increased. She shouted obscenities, some in languages she didn't know. And at one point, the priest told the priest, "Your God doesn't have power to win this." The ritual continued for over 2 hours, and then she fell quiet. As the priest paused, Mary slowly looked up and smiled. Then the chair lifted from the ground, hovering 3 feet in the air. The priest resumed the ritual forcefully. The entity gave its name. With the identity revealed, the final prayers were delivered. Mary collapsed, and the silence that followed felt clean. She later described the aftermath as a spiritual reset. The hatred was gone. The thoughts that weren't hers had vanished. But over time, her relationship with her son healed. You thought I was going to say something else. Her faith began to return, but she had never returned to the barn. To this very day, she still warns others, belief alone is not protection enough. Some things, once disturbed, will wait until the moment you are at your weakest to strike. Bum, bum, bum. And now, a word from our sponsor. No, I'm joking. We don't have any. Our final case. The case of the Rain Man, a.k.a. Don Decker, a.k.a. Dennis Hoffman?
I don't know.
Is that who played Rain Man?
I'm not sure.
It was Tom Cruise and Dennis Hoffman? Did you ever see Meet the Fockers?
Mm-hmm.
The dad. Do you know his name?
Oh,
He's
man.
famous.
And he's in so much stuff.
Yeah, but I can't ever remember his name. I'm pretty sure it's Dennis Hoffman. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm a good driver. I'm pretty sure it's Dennis Hoffman.
Oh my gosh, if I could type.
Well, just type in
Dad's name.
and Meet the Fockers.
Jesus Lord. And meet.
Dennis Hoffman. I was right.
No, wait, Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, Dustin Hoffman. Dennis. That's his brother.
You don't know.
I don't know. Dustin Hoffman.
Fun.
Dustin Hoffman. So this is the case of Dustin Hoffman, or Don Decker. This case is still open and ongoing. What?
Yeah.
How is this? Okay.
I don't know.
In February of 1983, Don Decker, a man grieving the recent death of his abusive grandfather. Would you be grieving that death? I could think of some, I don't know. Grieving the death of his abusive grandfather, experienced something that defies all rational explanations. I guess if you were we didn't get any chance to tell him off or fix things. I don't know. What started as an emotional family gathering quickly escalated into a series of supernatural events that would earn Decker the unsettling title of Rain Man. Basically, he was able to count matches when they fell out of the carton.
Isn't the Rain Man movie
about the autistic man?
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
That's why I said he was a good driver. And
I've never watched it.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Isn't it sad though? I don't do sad.
I mean, it is sad. At a certain point, it's sad. But it's one of those movies that it bounces back. It's not like it's... I think I Am Sam is one of the movies that is...
Billy Bob Thornton in it?
No, it's Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, I thought.
I don't know that Billy Bob Thornton's in that. No, he's in. You're thinking of. Sling Blade. I like French fried potatoes.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that one is sad because he gets
Yeah.
put in jail. But
That's what I thought was Rain Man.
no,
So-
Rain Man's about the autistic man that he's Tom Cruise's brother, but Tom Cruise didn't know he had a brother, and then he finds out when this dude is like, "Hey, I know this car. I used to drive it with Dad all the time," and he was like, "What? No." And it's so good.
Why?
It's so good. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, Sling Blade is what I was thinking, and I have not watched it because I have heard that it is sad.
The ending is sad.
And I love Billy Bob Thornton. He's like my trashy, hot old man crush.
Not in this movie.
Well, no.
I'm going to
But,
tell you that now.
Like, typically, I would watch a movie he was in because I've enjoyed
Oh, that's a
him.
really good movie, too.
But
It's a really good movie, actually. Anyway,
maybe we'll watch it one day.
it all began with a funeral. Donald Deckard was granted a temporary furlough from Monroe County Jail to attend the burial of his grandfather. But while others grieved, Don felt something darker. He later revealed his grandfather had abused him for years, and as the coffin was lowered in the ground, Don sensed a shift inside himself, a chill, a weight, a presence. That night, Don stayed with family friends, Bob and Jeannie Kiefer.
That name is so familiar, too, for some reason. Do we know someone with the last name similar to that?
No, you might be thinking Kiefer Sutherland.
No, yeah, I'm thinking Chief Keef.
Why is it not Kiefer Sutherland, but you're thinking Chief Keef? We got the dude from 24.
It's Chief Keef.
And
that
Lost
I'm thinking
Boys.
about. Or as some of our children's friends like to call him, Chief Queef.
Yes. Now, he was quiet and distant, and at one point, he retreated to the bathroom and returned visibly shaken. The air grew cold and the water began. First, it was just droplets forming on the walls, and then full streams running down the ceilings and dripping without pause. That's weird. That doesn't even sound demonic. That's just weird.
Right? That sounds like there's some pipe issues.
Right? The Kiefers assumed it was a plumbing issue. Well, there you go. Until they noticed the water traveling sideways across the surface. That's weird.
Oh, it's the coffee, I think, that you put on the stove.
Yeah.
I keep smelling something cooking, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's the
but
coffee.
I have not cooked anything.
Yeah, it's the coffee on the stove. So, where am I? The water's going sideways.
Which is super weird.
Yes. It was appearing in places with no water sources, such as the living room, the walls, the floorboards, etc. The temperature dropped further and the atmosphere turned heavy. They called the landlord, Ron, and his wife, Romaine. Oh,
Right,
Miss
Ron and Romaine.
Miss Lettuce, how do you do? When they arrived, they were stunned. Ron inspected the... I'd like to give her...
You and your romaine lettuce.
Oh, yeah.
And me and Chief Queef.
Yep. Like to get me some head of lettuce. Ron inspected the entire house and found no leaks, no malfunctioning appliances, yet the house continued to rain. And the water didn't just fall. No, it moved. We already did this sideways across the walls. It was described as unnatural. It was as if the water was alive. And Ron called the police.
Like, why? What do you
This
think they're gonna
convict
do?
is making this water. You take him back to prison. Oh. Officers John and Dick responded to the call, and they were seasoned cops, not shaken, but what they saw unnerved them. Officer John witnessed water travel horizontally across a mirror. Officer Dick confirmed the house was saturated with moisture with no visible source. The Kiefers, frightened, asked Don to get out. But wherever he went, the rain followed him. Don was sent to the landlord's home, and within hours, the water appeared again. They all must know each other then, because why would you let him come back into your house? Like, you're having this problem over here, Don, it ain't no problem. They're clearly insane.
Well, I'm also pretty sure if someone's on furlough, they have to stay with a certain person. And so they must have all known each other.
They had to have.
Yeah. Or a small town for the cops to even be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Go stay there. Just don't tell.
That's when, so Don was sent to the landlord's home, and within hours, the water appeared again. That's when Ron began calling churches because he was convinced something supernatural was happening, and most of them refused to get involved. Because if someone calls and says, it's raining in my house, I'm sorry, what? A local evangelical minister, Reverend Johnson, so we got a Dick and a Johnson. How nice. Agreed to help. When Reverend Johnson arrived, he brought with him not just a prayer, but a conviction. He believed Don was under spiritual attack. What Johnson performed was effectively an exorcism, not a formal Catholic rite, but a clear act of deliverance. I don't really know the differences if one works and the other works. Is there really a difference?
A
devilry!
A deliverance doesn't have to be done by anyone Catholic. Like, just a normal preacher could do it.
Okay. Well, as Johnson laid hands on Don, he began to pray. Don convulsed violently. His body trembled, his eyes fluttered, and he fell into a trance. The room grew even colder, and then slowly the rain began to fade.
Fell into a hole.
Within minutes, it stopped entirely. Don collapsed, exhausted. Now, the room, now dry, also felt still, but when Don returned to jail, the phenomenon resumed. Shortly after being locked in his cell, water began to form on the walls and drip from the ceiling. Guards watched as puddles appear. I guess God's watching too, but guards watched as puddles appeared from nowhere. Some described the cell as feeling oppressive, as if the air itself resisted explanation. Even Warden Dave Keenhold, a skeptic by nature, was deeply disturbed, and he contacted the prison chaplain, Reverend William Blackburn. Oh, that's a nice name.
Right?
Woo! Oh, Billy Blackburn. Get on in here, Billy. It's like, Reggie don't mess with no Blackburn. Reggie don't like Blackburn. He's scary. Blackburn entered the cell and was immediately struck by the atmosphere. It was like walking into a storm, he later recalled. And as he began to pray, a foul, unnatural odor filled the room, described by some as the stench of death. But Blackburn, he don't turn none. No, he just opened up his Bible, began reading aloud, and water falling all around him like a cinematic masterpiece. But Blackburn didn't stop. No, witnesses later noted that the pages of his Bible remained completely dry because the water was afraid of Blackburn and his strong mustachioed voice.
I like how you suddenly have turned southern.
That's what I'm imagining Blackburn is. I don't know where this takes place.
I don't know. I don't think it ever
Which
said.
it's England. Not with the name Ron and Romaine.
That's the trailer park.
That's the trailer park. They spelled it with a Y. That's the only letter difference. That's the only letter difference.
Oh, man.
Like they did, and it's not last name like Rebecca Romaine. No. It's Romaine and then whatever their last names are. So she is straight. Like they were like, what's a good name? You know, I always liked that romaine lettuce. What if we named her Romaine? How do you... It's just great. So, Blackburn, they said his
Bible stayed completely dry. Now, as he placed his hand on Don and invoked scripture, the smell began to fade. The air warmed and the water stopped. Now, Don never claimed to fully understand what happened. He said he felt something had entered him at the funeral, and something fed off his pain. It followed him and showed itself through water. Whether it was psychological trauma manifesting as physical or a genuine possession, it remains unanswered. 2 exorcisms, no hoax ever found, no explanation ever confirmed. To this day, the case remains one of the most bizarre and unnerving supernatural events ever documented in the United States. Aha, we have an answer there. And though the rain hasn't returned, those who stood in its path still remember what it felt like to watch the laws of nature bend around one man and to wonder who actually took hold of him that week. Is that the end of our
yeah.
That's the end of our episode? All right. So, real quick, let's talk about this dude. How's the case open? Did they say?
Because they never figured it out.
I got you. So they're still okay.
Yeah, so I guess because there was no conclusion as to why it was happening.
That's not like any kind of demonic, like he didn't
Yeah.
exhibit any strength. He didn't talk in languages.
And he wasn't like mean or angry.
Just rain. That's such a... Okay, so in paranormal fields, we've talked about this before, I think, with either one of the Warren cases or with... do you remember when we did... she had like a... Elba? No. Mildred Bithers?
That sounds familiar.
Or something like that. Edith Bithers? It's
the
the
last
Bithers.
name,
It's
yeah.
Bithers. She had an entity that was assaulting her sexually and all that.
Yeah.
But the parapsychologists that went into there, they call what we would consider demonic, they would call poltergeist activity. But I think you can have both. I think there's a distinct demonic and that's distinct poltergeist. Both are dangerous. One's just of a different nature than the other.
Yeah.
This is human in nature. This isn't. I think this could very well be human in nature. Because it doesn't say he gets taken possessed.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't...
Like, he doesn't seem to change at all.
No, it's just his environment does.
Yeah.
And in such a weird way. Like, that's such a weird thing to have happen.
Yeah.
But a lot of parapsychologists believe that poltergeists feed off of pain, but they're more activated by traumatic experiences. And typically, they look at whether or not you're a teenager. Because if
Yeah.
you're a teenager, you're more than likely going to have a paranormal poltergeist case than you are, I guess, demonic. I don't know if that's true or not. But that seems to be the way they go.
I don't know.
But this could very well be a poltergeist case.
True.
So
It was interesting, though.
yeah, it's very interesting. So I hope that thrilled you a little, chilled you a little. We got a little historical, we talked a little bit about some topics. We got a misunderstanding cleared up. I hope you all enjoyed that episode. What am I doing? I start it wrong. I end it wrong. Goodness gracious, you guys are wondering, okay, listen, what's going on with salty garlic? Well, I have a big super duper, let's get in here with the Mr. Rogers neighborhood. Okay, here we go. We are right here.
On the 14th.
We are on the 14th, okay? So this entire week, she is actually taking off. She's got a bluegrass in the barn for Christmas that she's going to attend. I don't know if she's going to eat any feet there, but she's going to a concert.
And then 2 Christmas church plays
Yeah.
she's going
So
to.
she's not going to take, so here's the deal. Since she's taking this week off, the week before Christmas,
She
Look out next week.
Yes, definitely look out next week. She is not, especially since it's Christmas, she is a demon dog, and Christmas is kind of a big deal to her, mainly because she likes to eat souls of feets, in mockery of Jesus's manger. That doesn't make any sense. I don't really know why she does it. It's just Christmas is her time to really stock up on skin. So
Ew.
be sure, next Christmas or next week to watch out. But this week, you guys actually should be fine. There shouldn't be a problem. Do you think? No? So we ought to be okay. Next week, our episode may be late. Or, I'm sorry, not next week. Is that next week?
Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. Our episode may be a little late. I am working. I've got the story done. We are just working on recording it and getting everything ready because, like last year, it was a bit of a play. This year, it's even more of a play. So I just want to make sure I get everything done and perfect. So please don't ignore next week. It's going to be great. I just need to make sure everything's perfect. Sound fair? All right. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Look at little Franklin watching his puppy videos. But you don't have to watch puppy videos. You can watch Ghosted in West Virginia and join our channel. And if you think about it, you could also go over to Ghosted in West Virginia Facebook page and share and subscribe there as well. Of course, if you don't, you're a loser.